Today I've decided to make a leather biker mask. For raiding villages in the post-apocalyptic world, or maybe just for keeping bugs out of my face while I'm on the trail. But to do this, I'm going to need a pattern. This pattern is courtesy of Creative All. Link in the description below. I've got it all laid out on my leather, and I'm ready to cut it out. When I'm working with a prefab pattern and not one of my own design, I like to go ahead and mark all the sewing holes before I cut out the individual pieces. This is much easier to do at this stage rather than trying to line up all the patterns later. Once all my sewing holes are marked, it's time to get down to cutting out each one of the individual pieces. I've got all my pieces cut out here, and I went ahead and used my slot cutting tool to go ahead and cut out all the slots needed in this design. The last step I have before officially dyeing the leather is to go ahead and set in all the sewing holes. So I'm going to go ahead and use my chisel punch here and basically just do these one at a time because the spacing here does not match any of the spacing that I have for any of my other chisels. All the individual pieces are now punched in, as well as the main frame of the mask itself. I dyed my mask black because I think it's more versatile this way. I'll be able to use it in that post-apocalyptic world, or it might come in handy if I ever decide to become an evil space wizard. With everything under dye, it's time to get to the assembly process. The first thing I did was went ahead and stitched the chin guard to the mouth cover. Just like that. On the main frame of the mask, I attached the straps with D-rings and rivets, and I went ahead and stitched the cheek covers onto the frame itself. At this point, essentially, I'm left with these two pieces. Only thing I have to do is go ahead and stitch them together. So let's get that done. I made some alterations to the design of the strap attachments. It fits my face a little bit better now. But here we go. This is essentially the way that the mask turned out. All the stitching is a very basic saddle stitch. As you can see, it dyed up pretty nice. I'm still going to apply a Resolene over the top. Here where the mask touches the cheeks and the ridge of the nose, it's not very comfortable. So I'm going to go ahead and make some upgrades and some alterations of my own. I found an old pliable piece of leather. It's got a rough design on the front, very rough on the back. I think this will dye up nicely. You can see how I attached that piece of leather. I rolled it over the edge there, and right now it's just on with contact cement. I'm going to throw a saddle stitch line through there, make sure everything's solid and in place. But there you go. That's essentially what it's going to look like. And it sits much more comfortable across the bridge of the nose. The post-apocalyptic world isn't looking so bad after all. But in actuality, I'm really leaning towards getting myself one of those cool laser swords and going out and crushing a rebellion or two. What do you think? This was a really fun project that brought a lot of different leatherworking skills to bear. All bad jokes aside, a mask like this actually does have practical applications. If you're a motorcycle enthusiast, maybe a mask like this will keep the June bugs from smacking you in the face. And for the mountain biker, maybe it keeps those branches at bay. In the end, I just hope this video maybe gave you some creative ideas. And if it did, you know that I'd appreciate that thumbs up like. Feel free to follow us on Instagram for projects that don't make it to video. And maybe, just maybe, I'll see you on the next video. If you enjoy videos about the randomness of our amazing world, consider clicking on the globe to subscribe, or maybe checking out one of the other videos right here.